Teacher Talking Sports, what it does, what do, how we live. And let's continue this series I've been doing where I name who I believe is the best player in each NBA franchise's history, their all-time GOAT. Previously did this for the NFL teams. They're in a playlist. You can check them out. Have the NBA ones in a playlist as well. We're almost at the end, going in alphabetical order. Today we land on the Utah Jazz. Now the Utah Jazz started as the New Orleans Jazz in the 74-75 season, remained there until 78-79. They became the Utah Jazz in the 1979-80 season. 51 seasons of NBA action, still looking for their first NBA championship. Now, before I reveal who I believe is the GOAT of the team, I've been revisiting the NBA Mount Rushmores I did 2 years ago, where I attempted to name who I believe are the four best players in each franchise's history. So before I name the GOAT, I've just been looking at them, seeing if I would make any changes in the 2 years that have passed. I decided to keep this the same, although there were a couple honorable mentions that I thought long and hard about including back then and now. But in alphabetical order by last name, I included Adrian Dantley, two-time scoring champ while with Utah. Rudy Gobert, a three-time Defensive Player of the Year with the Jazz. The mailman, Karl Malone, played 18 seasons with Utah, and his longtime partner, John Stockton, played his entire 19-season career in with Utah, all-time leader in assists and steals. The two hardest guys to leave off, a more current player, well, now with Cleveland, but Donovan Mitchell, who was a great scorer with the team, and Pete Maravich, who might have been an even better scorer with the team. Unfortunately, he never made the playoffs with the Jazz. Kind of why I left him off, but I would understand if you included either of the two, probably over Gobert was my fourth guy. But some other honorable mentions include Darren Williams, Darrell Griffith, Andre Kirilenko, Carlos Boozer, Jeff Hornacek, and Mark Eaton, to name a few. But in the end, my all-time greatest Utah Jazz player kind of has to be the mailman, Karl Malone. Malone was selected with the 13th overall pick in the 1985 NBA draft. As mentioned, played 18 seasons with the Jazz, spanning from 1985-86 until 2002-03. Only spent his last season with the Los Angeles Lakers, a two-time MVP with the Jazz. He's the third all-time leading scorer in NBA history, only behind LeBron James and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Let's take a look at his season-by-season numbers via his basketball reference page. First, let's from his second to 16th seasons with the Jazz. These were his MVP finishes in order: 12th, 8th, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 4th, 8th, 7th, 3rd, 7th, 1st, 2nd, 1st, 4th, and 7th. So, yes, a very lengthy amount of time being seen as one of the better players in the NBA. Malone was also a All-NBA first-team member for 11 straight seasons, spanning from 88-89 to 98-99. Made three straight All-Defensive first teams from 96-97 to 98-99. Also finished sixth in Defensive Player of the Year voting in 91-92. Let's take a look at his season-by-season numbers via his basketball reference page. Malone also made 14 All-Star teams with Utah in his 18 seasons, posted averages of 25.4 points, 10.2 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1.4 steals, shooting 51.7% from the field, 74.2% from the free throw line. Got there a ton. 9 free throw attempts per game. And if you see his first two seasons, really struggled from the line, showed much improvement from the charity stripe later in his career. For 9 straight seasons from 86-87 to 94-95, Malone averaged double-digit Rebounding totals, had some seasons where he averaged more than 4 assists per game. Again, part of the famed pick and roll duo with John Stockton. Malone was the beneficiary of many of John Stockton's NBA all-time leading assist total. The Utah Jazz did reach the finals twice with Malone, in 1997 and 1998, back-to-back years where they unfortunately lost to the Bulls and the great Michael Jordan. As I mentioned, Malone's 36,928 points, ranked third in NBA history, and nearly all of that's with the Jazz. As I mentioned, just one season with the Lakers at the end of his career. 14,968 rebounds, ranked seventh all time. His 5,248 assists are 62nd most. His 2,085 steals are the 12th most. Even 1,145 blocks, 72nd most in NBA history. Um, no, he never won a championship, but ESPN, when they named their best players to not win a ring, Malone was atop that list, and I kind of would tend to agree. There's others: Elgin Baylor, Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, to name a few. But the mailman, just a model of consistency, and is the greatest player in my eyes in Utah Jazz history. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments if you agree Malone being the best, or if you agree with my Mount Rushmore, what changes you would make, because it wasn't an easy one. Really, a few guys between that fourth spot in my eyes. Now, with all these, I've been taking a look at the active roster and deciding if anyone really has an opportunity to overtake the GOAT, make the Mount Rushmore, or be an honorable mention. I would say definitely no to overtaking the mailman. Making the Mount Rushmore, I doubt it. Being an honorable mention, really the only guy, and he's been in trade rumors, so let's see if he stays on the team. That would be Lauri Markkanen. Um, Played 2 seasons with the Jazz, made the All Star team in 2022-23. But as I mentioned, and one most improved player. But as I mentioned, um, trade rumors surround him. Let's see if Utah signs him to an extension or decides to move on from him. But we have just one team remaining. That will be the Washington Wizards. I'll do them tomorrow. Debating if I'm going to do NHL after this. We shall see. But really enjoyed it. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.